said it was in the news a little bit. Michael Johnson said that he believes he can save track, but he does not believe that he can save the field events. And then we got a reaction from two of the other biggest names in track and field right now, from Tara Davis Woodhall and her husband Hunter Woodhall, who's the Paralympian as well as the Olympian, who commented essentially saying, Michael Johnson, we don't need you to save field events. Like you're essentially like you're washed up. Your time's gone. You should have done this a while ago. You haven't done it. They really weren't happy with what Michael Johnson had mentioned when he said he can save track, he can't save field, saying field doesn't need saving. What are your thoughts on one, the I guess him saying he can save track and not field, and I guess that reaction that we got from two of the biggest names in track and field right now as well.
Yeah. Um. Firstly, I actually agree with Michael Johnson that you can save track, but saving field is a whole nother conversation. Um. I was in my training group last week after everything came out, and I just asked them. I said, "Who was the Olympic champion in the women's triple jump?" Crickets. Who was the Olympic champion in the men's 200? Oh, Tavogo. Right? So we are all professional athletes in the sport. And 90% of the people in the group don't know any triple jumpers, high jumpers, only really know American long jumpers, right? So it's clear that field is, not to disrespect it because it's an incredible thing to be able to do, but it's obviously not as entertaining or appealing to the eye of athletes in the sport and people that's around the world, casual fans. um I know there's pole vault conventions, and I know that there's a fan base for that, right? I get that, but it's the scale of it is so much smaller, in my opinion, than the scale of track and track fans and people that come to a track and field meet to strictly watch track events. Now, when I was in school, I went to school with Javon Harrison, one of the greatest American long jump high jumpers, right? And he would jump before we would run, the kind of way that the meets were scheduled, and there would be nobody in the stands for him. Now, he was at the time probably the world leader, NCAA leader, Bowerman winner, like one of the greatest college track and field athletes ever, couldn't draw a crowd. And that's nothing to do with him. He has a polarizing character, entertaining dude, cool look. Every box is checked. But the nature of what he does is not going to draw many people. And Tara Davis, she might be an anomaly. I mean, pretty black girl does long jump. I think more people that follow her on social media identify with her more for that than, this legendary long jumper, which she is great. And I'm not taking away from her talent, but I'm just saying what I think people know her for is more so an image than the talent. That this is the nature of the sport, nature of the beast. So I agree with Michael Johnson. And I'll touch on the Tara and Hunter, what they had to say. I'll let you talk, but I got more to touch on with them.
Yeah. So as a pole vaulter, my hottest take. So it's like I agree a little bit, but not necessarily. Like my take is track does not need field, and field does not need track to be successful. It should not be track and field. Like that is my like. I think that trying to sell the two things together is just not successful. Claiming that track and field have similar fan bases and like are two similar events would be like saying that the like NFL and college basketball or college NFL and college football are the exact same fan bases, or saying that the WNBA and the NBA are the exact same fan bases. Yes, there's some similarities for sure, and you'll have some crossover, but you should be marketing to a very different demographic and different group of people. Like so for track events, like just have track events going on. Like that's going to be good enough. Like having the Grand Slam track, I think, is a great way to advertise it, because when you have to go from you're trying to tell a story, and so you're going like, okay, we're going on the track, we're all going about by the same rules, and then we're going to say, okay, now we have to cut to the long jump, and let's look to the long jump. Okay, fantastic. Now it's time to cut to the shot put, and let's go to the shot put. It's incongruent because with the track events, you're telling the entire story of that one track event within that time period. The 100 meters, they announce the athletes, they have the race, and the race concludes all within, depending on the event, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. A pole vaulting event takes 2 hours to complete. And so it's an incongruent. So you're saying, hey, we're gonna do the track event. We're gonna complete that story. We're gonna start and complete that story, and then we're gonna show you a fraction of one of the stories of the field, and then go back and complete a whole new one. You're just not gonna have that interest for it. So what should we do? Track and field should be completely separate if you want it to be to tell a good story. Take a look at when Mondo did his pole vaulting competition that he has. It was like a freaking nightclub in there. He's got the music blaring. The stadium was sold out. Fans are going crazy, and like the energy is live. If you've ever gone to, have you ever gone to a street pole vaulting competition before? I don't know if you've ever seen. Yeah, those things are live. There are people that are literally pole vaulting in the middle of like a downtown city, and you have people that are watching, and it's packed. But like to say that it's the exact same thing and to put it in the track, it's not going to be as good. Like with the area that you need for a pole vaulting competition is much smaller. If you put them in a football field, it's gonna seem not as great. Get them close, get them on the track. Have long jump competitions where you get people right up on the long jump pit. I think of when they had when Christian Taylor had his last ever triple jump. They brought everyone onto the field to see him go. And like that was the most live triple jump that I've seen in a long time. Track does not need field to be successful, and field doesn't need track. Like start your own thing. Have these competitions like in the middle of streets, downtown areas where you can make that energy live, but to think that you need it to be together, like it's foolish. Like we don't need it. Like long jump does not need the men's 100 for the long jump to be successful. We don't need it. So like that's my take on it. I think that it's ridiculous that we still try to put them together. Like it clearly doesn't work, and we should not act like it does.
You've been sitting on that for a long time, huh?
Yes, because like I am in the field events. Like I've gone to these things. I literally was invited to the pole vault summit from UCS, and it is so insane the energy that it has when you've got like if you don't need to try to sell out an 80,000 person stadium. Like an 80,000 person stadium that's all watching a track event is not going to have the same reaction to when the pole vaulter breaks the world record as a 1,000 person stadium that is all watching pole vaults. Like, like it's seen as a side note when it is a side note. Like, make it the main thing. Like, make the jump the main thing, and then the energy you're going to see is going to be incredible, and you can tell the entire story. It'll be a 2 hour long story. You can tell that. I just hate it. I don't think that track needs field, and I don't think field needs track. So that's my soapbox.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that, bro. And to piggyback on the pole vault convention idea, I did go to University of Akron, which is a very prestigious pole vaulting school who held a pole vault convention every year, and I had to work it maybe once. But the culture and the energy around pole vault specifically is definitely intriguing to me. And if I had to give an analogy to like pole vault culture or like pole vaulters, it's kind of like in grade school when you got the kids that got the light up shoes. Now, not every kid got the light up shoes, but every kid with the light up shoes, they kind of cool, kind of like creative in a sense, kind of like outspoken in a sense, kind of like go with the flow kind of sense. So they like not necessarily like the super bookwormy, nerdy people. They not like the super loud people. It's like the kid with the light up shoes. You know what I mean? They kind of cool with everybody type. So that's kind of like the mystique or the culture of pole vault. But I think it's cool though, you know.
Yeah. And the energy of these events, like when you only have a high, because like they've had at the Diamond League, they usually will host these high jump events before the Diamond League and
Mhm.
in like a center city area. And it feels like a slam dunk contest, like because everyone's eyes are on that one person. Like when Javon Harrison's about to do the high jump, everyone in that entire stadium is watching him. And
Yeah.
just like the slam dunk contest, like there's no other thing you can look at. You can't watch the 400-meter hurdles that's about to go off. You can't watch the shot put. You have to watch this jumper. And you see him jump, clear the bar, go crazy, and you're like, "Oh yeah, no, that was lit." And then you get to watch it again 60 seconds later. It feels like a dunk contest. And that's where we got to do it. Like we're a sidebar in the competition when we're trying to do track, like do our own thing, man. But you said you had something
I
on
feel it.
the reaction though. You had any other insight or thoughts on how that reaction went?
Yeah, just with watching like the end, like they was in the car, like the little video they was in the car, talking about Michael Johnson. I mean, first of all, it was kind of like disrespectful to who Michael Johnson is and what he's done. I didn't like that addressing him in that way, especially like what he's launching right now is monumental. It literally hasn't been done in our lifetimes. I mean, American Track League is something, but it's not even
It's a
close
different
to the
thing.
scale of the Grand
Yeah.
Slam. So it's just high key disrespectful for one, and two, like it just didn't feel. It was like disingenuous for real. Like y'all kind of just talking, like y'all just talking just to talk. Like Tara and Hunter, y'all both are anomalies in your fields, like absolute anomalies in your fields. Like nobody draws attention, media, the way that you guys do. And it didn't really necessarily come from track. It just kind of came from them creating their own narrative through social media. Like this has been going on since high school, you know? Like y'all built y'all own brand. Y'all built y'all own thing outside the track and field. So y'all speaking and trying to represent the whole field culture, but you guys don't really relate to the rest of the field events. Like I'll draw another name, for example, like a Jasmine Jones, incredibly talented, like stupid talented, is an Olympian in multiple events. Like she wins USA's almost every year in the triple or the long, or is in contention for the long jump. But if we looked at her social media following and the people who know and identify Jasmine Jones versus Tara Davis Woodall, it's completely day and night. So, you know, Tara just, I mean, I think it's hard for when you get that big to speak for a whole body of people because you don't really relate to none of those people. That was kind of my problem with it.
Yeah, it felt like to me it was definitely a they saw the post and it was like a reaction, like an immediate reaction. Like there's plenty of things that I'll see happen in my life and everything where it's like my first reaction that I have, if I said what my very first thought was of everything, um I'd be wanting to take a few things back. I've definitely deleted posts where I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that because I was just like, it felt like it was like a much more of like an emotional response to it of just like
Yeah.
a, you're gonna tell me you can't save my event? Well, f you. Like, nah, you saw, like you didn't do this, you didn't. So it felt more like they probably saw it and then went right to it. And I think some of the stuff that they commented on, like I see where they're coming from, and I can understand why you're like, but yeah, like you said, I mean, it's hard to put into like saying, "Hey, you're not saving track and field, and you know your time has come and gone, and we don't need saving." Like he's trying to do his best here, like from a business of develop the track, and it's like if the field doesn't need saving, then the comment shouldn't like doesn't need isn't warranted. Then what Michael Johnson said means nothing. And you're like, and then the comment could be, yeah, like field is in the best position it's ever been, and what he said is just it's irrelevant. And best of luck with your Grand Slam track meet. Um, Versus like obviously, I mean, there has to be some feeling of what he's saying is legit, or you wouldn't have commented on it at all. Like if somebody like there'll be people that are in my comments for Track World News that'll say stuff like that I just don't react to. I'm not even going to comment. I'm not going to mention them right now because then they're going to know that they feel like they have power. But I've seen a few of them, and I like just I'm not going to react to them because I'm like this is so outrageously incorrect that you're not even remotely close to being right. I'm not even going to entertain the fact that you're commenting on this. I'm not even going to entertain it. So, but the ones that have a little bit of truth to it, it's a little hard for me to not say something back to it. It's like, maybe there's a little truth to what is trying to say. So they have to feel like there's some type of truth to it. It felt like a gut reaction. I mean, hopefully somebody will come out with a, grand slam field or grand slam long jump. And like you said, they're upper echelons. They're 1% of the 1% when it comes to fame, with long jump and triple jump, or long jump and the Paralympics. Like literally there's no one that big for those two in either of their respective, demographics. I love them. I think they're cool people. I've gotten to interview both of them at several times, but just think it was a little rushed.
Yeah, I think what you said with emotional response is probably pretty accurate way to put it. In the words of Dom Kennedy, man, you can't make no real decision based on emotion, especially can't make no money. So that's one of the quotes I live by there. I decided to share that little tidbit.
There you go. Not bad. Not bad. Last topic. Let's finish it off. Let's wrap it up. Put a bow on